Well, folks, we're into message number 2 on the heroes of the faith. And remember, faith is acting like God is telling the truth. Faith is more than a feeling, it's a footstep. It's where you move. Today we saw our first hero, Abel, the first man who had to fully live by faith because he didn't have the privilege of his mother and father of seeing God apart from sin. But God had prescribed a way he wanted to be worshiped. He had been raised in a God-fearing, God-believing home. He and his brother Cain both knew what God wanted, but only he subscribed to it. He came the time God wanted and the way God wanted to the place God wanted. Well, Cain came to the place, and he came at the time, but he didn't come in the way. He came in his own way, the way of Cain. The way of Cain is false religion. It's religion that you want to give God, not the worship that God wants to be given him. None of us likes leftovers. None of us wants leftovers when we go to a restaurant. We wouldn't serve special guest leftovers. God doesn't want leftover worship in your singing, in your time, your talents, and in your treasures. He is worth more than that. Just look at all he's done and look at all you're asking him to do. So the challenge of this kind of worshiping faith is to worship God the way he asked to be worshiped, not just the way you want to worship him. This is not just your style of worship. This is your ingredients in worship. It's your offering. That's more than money. That's the way you sing and the way you celebrate and the way you meditate. It's bringing him to bear on all of your life and doing it first. It says Abel brought the first thing. And Abel still speaks because his message is worship God by revelation, not by reason. Don't worship God based on what your mind and my mind thinks that he ought to be worshiped. Let's worship him the way he demands to be worshiped. So let's evaluate, do I worship him giving him the time he deserves, at the place he demands, in the way he expects? Or am I just worshiping with a religious facade, looking like the real thing with no reality behind it? Let's be able worshipers. Let's worship by faith, and then we will see his mighty hand on our behalf.